Our study this morning is going to be on MICAH chapter 6, from verse 6 to verse 7, whereby we are going to see what is that true religion, or true religion and justice. We are going to see true religion and true justice. This verse says, MICAH 6, 7, it says, "Wherewith shall I come before the Lord, and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before him with the burnt offerings, with the calves of a year old?" 7. "Will the Lord be pleased with 1,000 of rams, or with 10,000 of rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul?" In Kiswahili, read verse 6.
Inasema, nimkaribie Bwana na kitu gani, na kuinama mbele za Mungu aliye juu? Je, nimkaribie na sadaka za kuteketezwa, na ndama za umri wa mwaka mmoja?
Yes. In these verses, as I have said, we are going to see the true religion, ama kuamini kule kwa kweli, ama tunaweza amini namna gani katika njia ya kweli. This is a cry. If you read these verses, you'll see that this is the cry of the soul awakened to its need for reconciliation. These verses are not for a wicked person who doesn't know God. These verses are for those who have known or those who have tested that the Lord is good, and they are crying because of deficiency of their worship upon God. So it's a cry for reconciliation. This is the voice of conscience rising within the human heart, realizing the grandeur and holiness of God. You know, no matter what we do, if truly we are Christian, our conscience always will convict us, because when we see the holiness of God, then our conscience will start convicting us that truly, though we are calling ourselves Christians, we have a lot of deficiency. We cannot truly serve God the way the Word of God has taught us. So the heart, or the conscience, or the human heart of those who have realized who is God, who have tested the true religion, these are trembling of the finitude. This is somebody who is trembling because of his misconduct. In salvation, there is awe, at the same time confusion. Because you can see here, he is asking, how shall I come? Nitakuja namna gani? What offering is fitting? What posture is sufficient before the infinite? Why is he asking all this? Kwa nini anajiuliza hii maswali? Ni kwa sababu wakati wowote tukiwa Wakristo, we fall short of what we are supposed to be. Paka inafika pahali wewe mwenyewe unaanza kujiuliza, yani, how am I going to come before you, Lord? ni njia gani ambayo nitaweza kuja ndio nikufurahishe. So this is the impulse of human heart, who has been touched by his deficiency as a Christian. So he says, in our verses, he says, shall I come before him with the burnt offerings, with the calves of a year old? So here, if you look at it, this is an Israelite. That's why you see this verse is from the Old Testament. So he is referring to the Israelite sacrificial system. When he say a year-old calf was a precious offering, a year-old calf was a precious offering, young, unblemished, and full of potential. But here you can see it is placed under scrutiny. Not because such sacrifices were evil, but because they are insufficient when detached from the soul's inner disposition. Here I want you to see, this man, he is asking whether he is going to come with a year-old calf. This is somebody, even after sacrificing, even after doing all the ritual of the Old Testament, ni kwa sababu walikuwa natakiwa kupeleka haya mambo yote katika their worship, there were these sacrifices. So when you took a year-old calf, it was it was a good offering. But then he is asking, is that enough? Is that enough? Should I be called truly a son of God because nimepeleka that sacrifice? Ni kumaanisha hata yeye mwenyewe anaona ifanye nini?
Haitoshi.
Haitoshi. You know, here it is somebody who is doing external religion. Katika nje unaonekana matendo yako ni mazuri sana. Because this is an Israelite who has been sacrificing always. Anaenda kwa kanisa, ana sacrifice, but kwa sababu ya yale anapitia, the insufficiency ambaye anasikia kabisa hatoshi mbele ya Mwenyezi Mungu, ndio nauliza, nitakuja na yani hii kondoo ametosha? Iko ndo ametosha, manake hata yeye mwenyewe anasikia haitoshi. It is in our present generation whereby is going to the church enough, is praying, singing, imetosha, because those are part of the sacrifices. Here this Israelite is asking, haya mambo tunafanya externally imetosha kweli? So here there is a hidden warning. Do not mistake the outer forms for inward union. That's what here we are being told. Do not mistake the outer forms for inward union. Burnt offerings were meant to symbolize total dedication. But without the inner fire of love and justice, they are empty husks, or they were empty husks. Kwa hivyo nikumaanisha, unaweza kufanya mambo external worship, it looks good, it attracts people, but if it lacks the inner union with Christ, whereby We are mellowed by the humility of Christ all the time. Our humility is the most important, or is the only thing that is needed in our Christianity. Otherwise, our external worship will be empty, no matter how we do it. No matter how we do it. That's why you see the same man is asking, will the Lord be pleased with 1,000 of rams, or with 10,000 of rivers of oil? So the same man is going higher, because you can see all these things, they were offerings. 1,000 of rams. You know, he's saying, even if I come with thousands of rams, or with thousands of rivers of oil, because hata mafuta walikuwa nafanya nini? Walikuwa natumia. Sasa anauliza, hii nikija naye itatosha kweli? Because he had seen truth in a different way. He has realized that religion, true religion, is not external. It is internal. It is inner relationship, the union with God. That is the most important thing. But you'll find that in present generation, people don't care. They go to churches, but they can call people all names. They are full of jealousy. They are full of rhetorics, evil rhetorics. And yet, they think that that is the true religion. True religion is not like that. It is our inner union with God. So the prophet unearthed the hidden idolatry of religion. That is MICAH. That we can buy God's favor through abundance. That spiritual life can be weighed and measured in offering rather than expressed in life. He unearthed the hidden idolatry of religion. That's what MICAH is doing here. He unearthed the hidden idolatry of religion. That you can buy God's favor through abundance. That spiritual life can be weighed and measured in offerings rather than expressed in life. So here he is trying to unearth, to tell people that our religion, a true religion, can only be expressed in life, in our life, nothing else. If we cannot express it in our life, then we have a problem. He goes on to say, shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? This one, it echoes pagan's right and darkness corners of human desperation, offering one's own child. You can see the children of Israel had reached a point whereby they were offering their own children. So he is asking if this is, even Abraham's trial with Isaac hangs on the background here. Because we can see even Abraham, he also went to offer Isaac. But God said, no, you cannot do that. Because why? Because the Lord is not a God who feeds on blood. He does not delight in suffering. So these things, they were only here revealed by MICAH because he just wants to show people that not what we take religion is true. True religion is not what we do externally. It's what is happening internally. What happens internally, that's the most important thing in the religion. He goes on to say, and what does the Lord require of thee? But to do justly, and love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. Because you will find that after going all this through, if you go to verse 8, he says, he has shewed thee, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of thee? But to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. That's what we are supposed to do. Then he says, to do justly. Not merely to believe in justice or admire it, but to do it. Not merely to believe in justice or admire it, but to do it. What is justice? What is justice here that MICAH is talking about? To do justly. Here refers to the righteousness in action. Righteousness in action. What does our Lord say? Mtu akikupiga kofi ufanye nini?
Mpe pande ingine.
So we should do, that is doing justly. This justly, when you come to the wicked will turn a blow by a blow. They don't know how to forgive. Kama umemfanyia makosa, anafanya nini?
Anarudisha ubaya kwa ubaya.
Anarudisha ubaya kwa ubaya. That is not doing justly. We don't do, here, true religion is to do justly. At any one point, we should be in a position whereby we should not be angry with our opponent, no matter what they have done unto us. There must be fairness in business. There must be fairness in business. That is justice. There must be honesty in speech. There must be equity for the poor. Protection for the vulnerable. So when we have all these, fairness in business, honesty in speech, equity for the poor, and protection for the vulnerable, that is doing justly. That's what here MICAH is saying. He also says we should love mercy. Not just to perform mercy as duty, but love it. We should love mercy. We should be loving kindness. Loving kindness. Covenant faithfulness. Covenant faithfulness here is whereby, having known that we are Christians, we should not shout in anything, no matter what is done unto us. No shouting. That is lack of forgetting the covenant faithfulness. One thing we should know in the covenant, when we say the covenant faithfulness, we are the children of God. And when we say we are in the covenant, we ought to believe that those who are, or those whom we are with in that covenant, they cannot do us harm. They cannot do us harm. There is no way that if you are Christian, I should always take you that when you talk evil, when you talk anything, you are talking evil unto me. No. That one is not Christianity. No matter what I tell you, you should first of all know what is the covenant faithfulness. This man or this woman cannot harm me. Though I've heard as if he has intention of harming me, but I don't want to believe it. It cannot be so. That is covenant faithfulness. Being our brother's keeper. So, loving kindness. We should, loving kindness. There is no one time a brother should act as if as an enemy. And there's no way we can be enemy. There's no way we can be enemy. Christian cannot be enemy. If we are in the same covenant, we are not enemies. So there's no way whereby you should take me as an enemy, no matter what I do to you. You should first of all think, why? That's Christianity. It is not my word. It is God's word. Because I believe a Christian cannot harm another Christian, no matter what. So it is the deep tenderness of God. This covenant faithfulness is the deep tenderness of God mirrored in our relationship. That is to love mercy. It is the deep tenderness of God mirrored in our relationship. So mercy is a beating heart of divine love, and we are to cherish it, seek it, delight in it, make it the fragrance of our lives, no matter what. So because the moment we allow Satan to creep in, Satan can distort everything. Satan can distort everything. He can even change the statement to make it look an enemy statement. But it is not that. Church, he can do. That's allowing the fire of nature to take over. The fire whereby that fire distort everything and make it look enemy action. That's why he says to love mercy, to walk humbly with thy God. This is the root of all, humility. To walk humbly with thy God. This is the root of all, humility. Not a self-abasement, but a referent nearness. To walk humbly with God doesn't mean that self-abasement. Because sometimes when we say to walk humbly, man by nature won't agree. Because sometimes this one is taken as self-abasement, that you are abasing yourself. And by nature, we don't want to abase ourselves. And because we don't want to abase ourselves, we are going to react. Because of this, we cannot humble. We shall react. We don't want to humble. To walk humble is to remember who we are. Look here, I want you to hear this. To walk with God is to live in companionship with the eternal. I want to repeat it a bit. This is the root of all. To walk humbly with thy God. This is the root of all. Humility. Not a self-abasement, but reverent nearness. Because when we are saying to walk humbly, it is not abasing yourself, because ourself is the most is the very thing that doesn't want to abase itself. And that's why ourself can change any statement or anything in our covenant faithfulness to suit itself. And that one can bring a lot of problem. So humbly here is not self-abasement. You are not abasing yourself. You are only controlling yourself. You are only reverent nearness. You are always asking this. To walk with God is to live in companionship with the eternal. Not running ahead. Not running ahead. Why? Because when we react, because ourself is being abased, what happened here? We ran ahead of God. We ran ahead. We want to represent ourselves. We are not walking with God. That's what the word is saying. We are not walking with God. We are running ahead of God. Because if we had been walking with God, we should humble ourselves. No matter what happened, no matter what arrows come upon us, we should be humbled. But when we run ahead, we are not walking with God. So, not running ahead, not dragging behind, but moving in tune. Not dragging behind. Ni kumaanisha, si ati you move behind. Meaning that you are not going to react. You are supposed to react, yes. But now, hapa tunaambiwa, our reaction must be in tune with who? With God. It must be in tune, which means there is no way a Christian is supposed to shout. No matter what is done unto us, the first thing, we shall not move ahead of God. We shall not even be dragged behind, but we should try always to think, to attune ourselves, to first think. What am I going to, why do I want to answer this? So, to walk humbly is to remember who we are. That's the point, the main point. To walk humbly is to remember who we are. Because sometimes you'll find that you are a Christian, but when you move ahead of God, you forget even who you are. In a very short moment, you forget who you are. And you find yourself, you act as if you are not a Christian, as if you have not known God. And in fact, you come to realize that that was not the way. So you have walked ahead of God. Why? Because you never, to walk humbly is to remember who we are. Neither gods nor worms, but beings made in the image of love, invited into communion. Tunakumbuka who we are, that we are being made in the image of God, and we are being invited in communion with God. So, no matter what happens, hata ukichapo pande hii unapatia na gani? That's why our Lord said that. Hakuna pali Christ alisema ati kuna mtu atakupiga kofi. Hapana, ni hapa ni when we control ourselves. Yes, mimi naweza kukukosea. Lakini nikikukosea, it doesn't mean that in order for you to be satisfied, mpaka unichape kofi ndio sasa nisikie wewe sasa umekuwa satisfied. No, that's not Christianity. In the first place, a Christian should control himself. No matter how much he is insulted, he controls yourself. So here we come to the point whereby so in this first passage we can unravel a whole religious world view and rewaves it as a path of interior transformation, that no longer is God the distant deity to be bribed in sacrifices, but the ever near companion who desires justice in our hands, mercy in our hearts, and humility in our step. There is a point I want you to understand, that salvation, it is God acting through us. At any one time is God acting through us. So the question is, why does God want you to tune with him? Because it is because we should always act ourselves as Christian. If it is God acting through me, how can God react the way we react? Is it God reacting that way, or is it you? Because if we see it is you, then you see that's wrong. Let us see a mystical argument or dialogue of these passages of a man crying and these offerings. He says, man, I have awakened to the holy fire. The heaven weighs upon my chest. When we say I have awakened to the holy fire, it is a Christian who has awakened to that holy fire of God. That you want to be a Christian, and that fire of God, the holy fire is that love of God, to act like a child of God. So he says, I have awakened to the holy fire. The heavens weigh upon my chest. What shall I bring before the infinite? What offering will ease the burden of my guilt? Nini nitaleta? Because that's all the things that we need to ask ourselves. Because a Christian, he has been awakened unto the holy fire. That's the love of God. And that's all what we need to have. That's all what we need to drive us. So he's asking, what shall I bring before the infinite? Nini, what am I supposed to do? What offering will ease the burden of my guilt? Now, the divine anamwambia, what is it you seek? Nini unatafuta? Child of dust and dome. Because we are children of dust. Nini unatafuta? Naye the man anasema, I want to be clean, to be whole, to bow rightly before the high God. Shall I bring burnt offerings, calves of a year old, perfect and strong? Will rivers of oil run long enough to wash away the memory of my fault? The divine voice says, and what fault do you believe can be drawn in rivers of burnt in the blood of beast? Sasa namuuliza, okay, wewe unaamini what fault ni nini inaweza safishwa na damu ya nini? Ya kondoo ama mbuzi ama whatever? Because here I've said we are referring to the Old Testament sacrifices. The man says, my transgression echo in me. Transgression. Yeah, and I realize, yes, hako sawa. Transgression ni mtu ambaye anaona ako na shida. Because we in this body, in this world, hakuna moja anaweza kusema ako sawa. Whether we have that holy fire, whether we are moved by that inner life of Christ, we still have a lot of sins moving with us. So the man is saying, my transgression echo in me. They rise like smoke. I cannot see through them. Shall I give more, 1,000 rams, 10,000 gift, my firstborn, the fruit of my own body, for the sin of my soul? So anasema dhambi zake akijiangalia, they rise like smoke. Ni nyingi. Even I cannot see through them. Hata zingine sisielewi. You know, sometimes when we say we are sinners, sometimes we try to hide ourselves in the sad. Tunaona kana kwamba sisi ni watu wazuri sana. And because we don't realize our sinfulness, tunakaa na tunakuwa satisfied. But sometimes God can come in a way ya kukufundisha, yani anaweza tumia a very simple things to show you that dhambi zako ni nyingi sana. Because unaweza kuona uko sawa, lakini anaweza kutumia njia nyingi sana. Because this man is saying, my transgression echo in me. Huyu ni mtu ambaye kabisa naona kabisa he is a sinner. Na ako na dhambi nyingi sana. Sasa nauliza, naweza leta nini sasa hii dhambi ndio zitoke? Blessed ni wale watu ambaye wanaweza ona haya. Barake mtu ambaye ana realize huyo ndio yani na anaona dhambi zake. Not pointing fingers to others, pointing to yourself. Once you feel that you have a problem, don't always say hata wewe, hata usijui, hata mwingine ako. No, that's not Christianity. That is Antichrist. Hiyo si ukweli. Ukweli ni kwamba we are individually created anew. Not because of others. You are not created anew because of others are being created. No, it is you alone. So this man says, my transgression echo in me. They rise like smoke. I cannot see through them. Then the divine voice says, you have misunderstood me. Because here anasema, I can see through them. Shall I give more, 1,000 rams? So here anauliza, shall I yani let a sacrifice zingine labda ndio nioshwe? But the divine voice anasema, you have misunderstood me. Then man anauliza, then who are you, if not the one who feeds on sacrifice? That is, wacha tuseme ni kama wakati huu tunaweza kuwa tunaenda kanisa, tunafanya mambo yote yale tunafikiria ni mazuri. Sasa huyu unauliza, hata kana kwamba niko na dhambi, ninaweza fanya nini? Nimefanya yale yote ambaye kabisa yanakupendeza nje, yale ambaye those things that you can see that they are good as a Christian, nimefanya zote. Kama ni hii ukisema nafanya, kama ni hii ukisema nafanya. Lakini Mungu anamwambia, then you you have misunderstood me, meaning you have not known me. Mungu anasema, then you have not known me. Kwa sababu hiyo kazi yote umefanya ulikuwa unafikiria ni mimi unafanya. Na hata unatafuta ufanye ingine kubwa ndio labda unifurahishe. No, you have misunderstood me. Then man anauliza, then who are you, if not the one who feeds on sacrifice? I am, naye the divine voice anasema, I am the one who walked with Adam in the cool of the day. I am the one who remembered mercy before the law was spoken. So anataka kuambia, before this law unafikiri wewe ati unatimiza sheria ati nje unaonekana. Mimi ni yule ambaye nilikuwako. I remembered mercy hata hii sheria kama haijakuja. Because wana wa Israeli walikuwa nafikiria everything that God has brought came with Moses. Manake he came with the law. Na wakafundishwa sheria. Sasa anaambiwa no. Even before this law ambaye unaona unatimiza ati unasema sasa uko karibu na mimi. Mimi I'm the one who remembered mercy before the law was spoken. Which means even before this law, mimi, I dwell in mercy. I do not hunger for slaughter, but for seeing eyes and willing hands. Sasa nataka kumwambia, I do not hunger for slaughter. Wana wa Israeli walikuwa nafikiri, the more they sacrificed, they slaughtered their animals because of their sins. Wengi walikuwa napeleka kondoo, they slaughtered their sins. Hata wakati wanaenda kuslaughter their sins, walikuwa na slaughter the animal. But the actual slaughtering internal, that one they neglected. They neglected. But they were doing it outwardly. But that which is internal, that one they neglected. So hapa nataka kumwambia, mimi, I remembered mercy before the slaughter, but for seeing eyes and willing hand. The seeing eye, which means God does not look your action outwardly, but seeing eyes and willing hands. We are going to see. Then the man asked, what do you require of me? Ni nini basi you require for me? Unajua, it was a testing point in the sense that this man is sacrificing. He has done all what is supposed to be done. Baka anasema aongezee nyingine nyingi ndio labda Mungu amkubali. Lakini Mungu amemwambia no. Mimi you don't know me. Haunijui. Haujanielewa. Then baka nusa, then what do you require of me? Nini basi ungetaka mimi nifanye? It is like this present generation. Mtu anaweza kusema mimi naenda kanisa na kufanyia hii. I've been doing this for the church. I've been tithing for the church. I've been offering for the church. There was no one time nilikuwa kabisa I've not been acting for the church. But ukiuliza Mungu, what do you want from me? Anakuambia, I don't want that. You don't know me. Hiyo mambo yote unafanya, bado hujafanya nini? Hujanijua. Paka the man asked, then what do you require of me? The divine voice tells him, I require nothing, but your own soul was made to give. Divine voice says, I require nothing but what your own soul was made. Sikiza hapa. What your own soul was made to give. Which means God requires nothing from us that we think we can do with our own hands and mind in this world. He only requires that which our soul was made to give. Which means even before God created us, there is what he wants us to give, not what we think we can give. Not what we think that we can give. And that's where we go wrong. What is that the soul can give? What does God require? That which our soul was created to give. One is to do justice, as I've told you. Is to do justice in the world. To do justice in the world, hapa nje, and within ourselves. To do justice in the world, that means if we have an opportunity to do something in this world, we should do justice. That is outside the world. And in fact, we should also do justice within ourselves. When we say within ourselves, somebody must ask, how can we do justice within ourselves? To do justice within ourselves is when we know that we have entered into the covenant of the faithful. That internally we are for our union or the purpose of God is working how we can unite with him. So when we do justice outward, we should also do justice inward. That means we should not act what is not in line with the will of God. Because when we do the opposite, then we are doing injustice in ourselves, in our within. Because our within is very important here also. Because that is we. We should weigh, that's what we said there before, that we should weigh that are we actually representing God in our utterance, in our everything. That is, is our conscience convicting us that this is wrong? Should we act on something that our conscience is against? That is doing injustice within ourselves. We should love mercy, not as duty, but as delight. To love mercy, not as duty. When you say to love mercy, not as duty, but as delight, ni kumaanisha we have what we call, you'll find that many in the churches will have that union of doing mercy. That means we have churches whereby we have people giving food, showing mercy to the vulnerable or to the lowly. These people, they'll show mercy because they'll come and give food and they'll do it, and it's a good thing. Mungu hajasema ni mbaya, but is it a delight? Do you do it because you are doing it because you have an opportunity, you have been given to do that mercy, and then you feel that that is your delight? That's one thing. Is it a delight or a duty? And to walk humbly. Remember, that's what our soul was made to walk humbly. That's what God has said, to walk humbly with me, not before me. To walk humbly with me and not humbly, not before me. Sasa hapo ndio tunaambiwa don't act fast before God. If truly you are a child of God, don't act fast before God. Walk with God, not before God. That's to walk humbly. The man says, then I have sought you in the wrong temple. I have filled the altar and starved the heart. You see, he come to realize, that man realized, then I have sought you in the wrong temple. I have filled the altar and starved the heart. So you can see here, the altar here is where he goes to worship. That is the external worship. I have filled the altar. Ni kumaanisha, when you come to the Old Testament, yeye kama ni dhambi alikuwa analeta kondoo nyingi sana. He was bringing a lot of sacrifices. So he has filled the altar, external altar, but he has starved his heart. His heart is still empty because he has not known how to restrain himself. He has not known how to walk humbly with God. There are so many things that we fail as Christians because those are the things that we are supposed to do. We fail them. So our heart starve, but we feel the altar or external altar, that is our services in the churches, but our heart is starved. So then divine voice says, yet still, sikia vile amesema, the man asks, says, then I have sought you in the wrong temple, I have filled the altar and starved the heart. Then the divine voice says, yet still I waited in the silence between your offerings, calling you not to climb a burning stair, but to step beside me in stillness. You can see the mercifulness of God, that even when we have done all what we have done, God is still waiting for us. So he says, yes, still I waited in silence between your offerings. Yes, your offerings were meaningless. Sasa hapa Mungu anataka kusema nini? That in all our times in the churches, hata wakati tunaenda kanisa, hakuna wakati sisi tunakuwaga wasafi. Hakuna wakati sisi our offering inakubalika. Kwa sababu uanga imechanganyikana na tamaa za mwili na mambo ya mwili. So hakuna wakati our offering inakubalika. Lakini Mungu anasema hata wakati kabisa sisi our offering haimfurahishi, yet I waited in the silence between your offerings, calling you not to climb a burning stair. Calling you not to climb a burning stair. Yani all the time wewe unataka kuwaka. You know, always you want to act before God. Always you want to react yourself. That's the burning stair. You want to burn. So God is calling you always, because he knows that the way we are. Yet still I waited in your silence between your offerings, calling you not to climb a burning stair, but to step beside me in stillness. Utembee na mimi, step, yani utembea na mimi pole pole in stillness. Don't lead me. Wacha because to lead, yani here anataka kusema forget about the self. Self ndio inataka climb the stair, because self doesn't want to be abased. Hiyo tukubaliane na hiyo, you choose yourself, you go and we mwenyewe, because all of us, hakuna mtu ametoka kware ingine, we are from the same kware. Self always doesn't want to abase itself. Afadhali mtu hata ongee vibaya lakini satisfy self, but not God. That's the way we are. So hapa Mungu anasema calling you not to climb a burning stair, but to step beside me in stillness. Be still. No matter how much you are provoked, no matter who provoke you, be still. Don't climb the stair. Ni kwa sababu hiyo ukifanya ni makosa. You are not acting as a Christian. Then the man asked, is it truly enough, this work, this justice, this mercy? Is it truly enough? Because now here, is this work, humbly, this justice, this mercy, is it enough? Then the divine voice says, it is not only enough. It is not only enough. It is the beginning of eternity. So these things, they are simple. They look simple. So the man is asking, are they enough? If I'm going to walk humbly, do justice, do mercy, are they enough? Now, it is not enough. It is the beginning of eternity. They are just the beginning. Rivers of oil cannot reach me. Ukisema ni mafuta mingi ama sacrifice cannot reach me. But the hand that lifts the fallen touches my heart. But the heart that lifts the fallen touches my heart. When you say the heart that reaches the fallen, here mostly people will go to poverty. Manake wanaamini wale watu wanasaidia watu kwa chakula za tumbo, wao ndio wanasaidia the fallen. But the fallen here, yani it is man in sin. Mtu akiwa ameanguka, mtu ambaye hajijui, mtu ambaye hajielewi, kwa sababu dhambi ni kuwa mtu hajielewi. So whoever is teaching people to understand the fallen, to make them to open their eyes, that man touches the heart of God. Why? Because he is the light of God. God wants those who are opening others' eyes, telling them this is the way. If you're going this way, this is the way. So the divine says, the soul then asks, then I lay down the knife. That's the man now. Then I'll lay down the knife. I'll tear the veil and step out from the smoke. I'll tear the veil and step out from the smoke. Which smoke? Because why? He has seen all along, he was acting the way he was acting because there was a veil ambayo ilikuwa imemfunika, hata kana kwamba ana sacrifice, lakini kuna kitu ambayo ilikuwa inamshika, ambaye kabisa alikuwa ameshindwa kufanya nini? Kutoka. Alikuwa ameshindwa kutoka. Yeye mwenyewe hajielewi, lakini kuna kitu ambaye kabisa hapo ilikuwa inamshika. Sasa yeye ndio anasema sasa, then I lay down the knife. I'll tear the veil and step out from the smoke. I will walk. Now he says, I will walk, not to earn, but to dwell. And in the walking, I shall be made whole. You see now, I will walk not to earn. Because here, he has realized that in order to be a Christian, there is a sacrifice we have to make. And this sacrifice, most probably, we are not going to get it. We are not going to satisfy ourselves. And you'll find that the wicked will always fight to satisfy themselves. You know, some people will ask, how will the wicked fight to satisfy himself? Wakati mtu anangengana to make his point to be heard, that's what he wants. That's what we want. That's the reward. But he cannot give in and humble himself, because by humbling himself, he's not going to earn. Hata faidika. That's why many, afadhali mtu afanye vile anafanya, aridhike na roho yake isikie he has earned. To earn that, lazima afanye vile yani his heart inataka, ama anasikia ndio vizuri na yeye ndio aridhike, because there is a reward. Na hii reward, it is a reward of death. Manake haina faida. But the mtu wa mwili kwake ni sawa. Mtu wa mwili kwake ni sawa. You cannot tell him otherwise. Yeye anaridhika. Wakati mwingine anaweza kusema anatukanana, yeye anaridhika na anasema hiyo ndio, na hakuna kitu kingine cha kumwambia, na anasema hivyo ndio alikuwa anataka. Alikuwa anataka hivyo. So hapa naye sasa anasema, I'll tear the veil and set out from the smoke. I'll walk not to earn. He has realized, I'll walk not to earn, but to dwell. Sasa yameona afadhali akose to earn anything ama reward anything kwa sababu ya makosa. Afadhali sasa as earn anything, self isaidike, but apate a dwelling. A dwelling where? A dwelling in God. That's what he is saying. And in the walking, I shall be made whole. Then the divine voice says, and I shall walk with you. Ukirealize that, he's telling him, and I shall walk with you as always have. Nitatembea na nani? Nitatembea na wewe. Which means, nani wanga nazuia Mungu asitembee na sisi?
Ni sisi.
Ni sisi wenyewe. In fact, we block. Sisi wanga ndio tunazuia Mungu kutembea na sisi. Ukiuliza binadamu, if you ask man, atasema hapana, unajua sijui nini. Hapana, it is we, sisi wenyewe, our deeds. Sometimes inafika pahali unafika unashindwa sasa. Man kama angerealize God will always want to walk with us. He is with us. Anasema he is near to us than we are near to ourselves. Hivyo ndio Mungu anasema. Ako karibu sana kuliko na sisi, kuliko sisi vile tunakuwa karibu na sisi wenyewe. So let us see the way of humble walking. A spiritual dialogue of humble walking. Ndio tuwe accepted by God. Man anauliza, now he has realized, I've left the altar of performance. I've silenced the need to appease. Now, Lord, teach me this humble walk. What does it mean to walk with you? Then the Spirit of God tell him, it's not a walk of distance, but of nearness. Not a road paved with effort, but a path cleared by yielding. Not a road paved with effort. So here, it is not a walk of distance, but nearness. The walk here, how to walk with God, is to walk nearness with God. And to walk nearness is with God, it is to reflect God in our internal. Not a road paved with effort. It is not our effort. Tusifikirie sisi wenyewe, our effort ndio itatusaidia. That means our effort, the effort here nataka kumaanisha sio sheria, but a path cleared by yielding. We must yield. To yield ourselves, it is to truly fight our evil self, so that we can yield unto God. Because our evil self cannot yield. It won't revenge. Our evil self won't always to revenge. That is the character of our evil self. So, but I have known only striving. The soul says, I have known only striving. What is left when I cease to strive? Mimi najua kujipigania. That's the man. Mimi najua only to strive. Because man thinks that yeye ndio the controller or even of his salvation. But I have known only striving. What is left when I cease to strive? Nini imebaki kama sita ngengana? Then the Spirit of God says, you begin to breathe. When you cease to strive, wakati umeacha kungengana wewe mwenyewe na mafikira yako, kujitetea kama binadamu wengine wote tunafanya, Mungu anasema you begin to breathe. Hapo ndio unaanza kubreathe. Na hapo ndio you begin to see. Anasema you begin to see. Hapo ndio tena unaanza kuona. Anasema bado you begin to be with me as I have always been with you. So God has always been with us, but we have not recognized him. Hivyo ndio nataka kusema. Lakini wakati wewe utaacha kustrive to exact yourself ama kujitetea hapa duniani, hapo ndio utaanza kubreathe. Hapa tukisema kubreathe, it is that the Spirit of God, that our internal man or our internal nature is going to start breathing that Spirit of God. God will start acting, will open up. The Spirit of God will start breathing in our inner man. Remember, the Spirit, the breath that we breathe in with our nostrils, it is spiritually is the Spirit of God. So anataka kusema when you cease to do what you think is good, then you start breathing. Meaning your internal man will start breathing again. Then you start to see. Utaanza kuona because right now you don't see. You see with your external eyes. Unaona na hii macho ya nje. Lakini wakati utaanza, you'll see striving to yourself, utaanza kuona. So wakati umeanza kuona ndio utaona, you begin to be with me. You begin to be with me. Which means hata saa hii tunasema Mungu, lakini all along waka tunaongea juu ya Mungu, a God who is outside ourselves. Lakini kuna kati Mungu anakuambia utakuwa na yeye. Muko pamoja na yeye. So mani anauliza, then this walking, is it stillness in motion? Kwa sababu unasema to walk humbly. Hii walking ni kukaa na yani stillness, lakini bado unatembea. Is it stillness in motion? Yani niwe still, but still, unajua sasa ukisema, ukiambia mtu to walk humbly ama be still, sasa mtu anashindwa ni kusimama ama ni kutofanya mambo kwa sababu uko hapa duniani uache kufanya mambo mengine. Hapana, anasema yes. Is it stillness in motion? Yes, it is a stillness of heart that no storm can move. Stillness in motion hapa ni kumaanisha it is a stillness of the heart that no storm can move. Ni kumaanisha hii stillness ni kumaanisha wewe ukiwa still ni kama kakitu kako, ukidraw a circle hivi, this is our heart. Hii heart, this is our external forces. External forces ni yale mambo tunakutana naye all the time. Kuna mambo inatupush, so tunaambiwa hii stillness, wakati Mungu atatembea na wewe, utakuja kuona all these external forces, they shall not touch you. Which means hata ukikosoa namna gani, your heart cannot be reached. Hata mtu akikufanyia nini, hata ikiwa ni shida gani, your heart cannot be reached. It is still. Why? Because it is with God. Why do we act the way we act? It is because we don't walk with God. The motion, the storm ya nje uanga saa yote inatuingia. Hatuna protection. That's why we can react this way, we can do this way, is because we are not walking with God. So that's why the man asked, then this walking, is it stillness in motion? Then the Spirit says, yes, it is a stillness of heart that no storm can move. It is the inner flame that needs no wind to burn. It is the inner flame that needs no wind to burn. The inner flame ni kumaanisha the Spirit of God. Wakati your heart fired by the Spirit of God, it does not need any wind. Wind hapa ni external spirit ambaye ndio iban. Kwa hivyo ni kumaanisha we shall have a full protection of God. Nothing ambaye inaweza toka nje inaweza excite us. Hata ukitusiwa namna gani, that storm, that wind cannot reach you, because it is nothing. It becomes nothing. So it says, but I'm still small. It is inner flame that needs no wind to burn. To walk humbly with me is to be emptied of self and filled with the presence. To walk humbly of God is being emptied of self. Ni kumaanisha self ndio hii weeds. These external weeds ambayo wanga zina drive us tuna act opposite of God. So to be emptied of self and filled with the presence of God, hiyo ndio to walk humbly. The man asked, but I am small, my thoughts wander, my will is weak. That's the way we are. Our thoughts wander, my will is weak. Kwa nini nasema his thoughts wander? Thoughts is our problem. Why? Because the moment you receive a wind from outside, when it enters our thoughts can turn these things to something different. So our thoughts wander. That's what the man is saying. Our thoughts wander. Mafikira zetu wanga zina wander from here to that. I can think that way. Unaweza ambia mtu hivi without an intention, ile na yeye afikirie ingine. Hiyo ni yake, amefikiria. So his thought is wandering, ina wander all over, ikifikiria hii na hii na hii. So anasema, but I am small, my thoughts wander, my will is weak. My will is weak. Instead of willing with God, I will with myself. That's when we say our will is weak. What our thought is going to conjure is going to affect our will. Na tunafanya vingine completely contrary to what we thought we can do. Unakuta our will is weak. Now the Spirit of God inamwambia, then you are ready. Then you are ready. For humility is not poverty, but the rightful shape of your soul. Hata ukiwa pale, even if you are weak, then you are ready. For humility is not poverty, but the rightful shape of your soul. Open, receptive, yielded like earth receiving the rain. So even if you are weak, even if your thoughts wander, that's our nature. But open, yield yourself, kama vile earth inagojea mvua na utabadilika. Ni kumaanisha we should be very much attentive of ourselves. I think the biggest thing that a man is supposed to work day and night for his own goodness, it is to search himself. Hakuna kitu ingine. Kama binadamu, kama binadamu angejua, hakuna kitu ingine tunatakiwa kuwa tunapigania. Ni kujijua, ni kujua our nature. It is to understand ourselves, because there is no way you can fight our evil self if we don't understand ourselves. And then after understanding ourselves, we start fighting that evil self in us. Not to allow it to rule us. Sio kuallow ati hiyo evil self inatuongoza, hapana, ama inatawala sisi, hapana. So the man say, so it is not shame you desire, but truth. So it is not shame you desire, but truth. You see, so it is not shame you desire, but truth. Yes. The Spirit of God says, yes, shame falls inward and hides. I want you to understand that, because it's very important. Why do we react? Why does man always react when he is touched? Kwa nini yeye huanga anataka kureact? Kwa nini our thoughts huanga zinawanda always zikifikiria how to protect ourselves? It is because man, he hates what we call shame. Shame here ni kumaanisha hata ukitaka kuambia mtu wa mwili, kumwambia kitu ambaye amefanya makosa, unatakiwa umwambie kama hakuna watu. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu ukimwambia pakiwa na watu, atafanya nini?
Ataaibika.
na hataki afanye nini?
Aibike.
Hataki aibike. So shame ndio kitu ambaye uwanga inasumbua binadamu. Sasa hapa anauliza, the man anauliza, so it's not shame you desire but truth. Now the Spirit of God will be, yes, shame fold it inward and hides. Shame fold inward and hide. Binadamu ambaye hataki kuaibika, yeye anataka kujificha. He folds inward and hide himself. Sasa ndio unaona wewe wakati unajaribu kumwambia ukweli hapa, yeye anakuambia hapana. You cannot tell me the truth. Hata wewe uko namna gani?
Uko namna hiyo.
Hata wewe uko namna hiyo. It's because of shame. It hides inward and hides. It folds inward and hides. So the man anauliza, and if I forget you, because Mungu sasa anamwambia don't, you know, so it is not shame you desire but truth. Yes, God desires the truth. Truth hii ndio shida. You know, mimi study ukweli for the last more than 10 years. And I've come to realize hakuna kitu ambayo watu wana hate kama ukweli. We might pretend that we like the truth and we love the truth, but we don't. Truth, he better hide shame than accept the truth. You better stop at something because it is going to shame somebody than the truth is mommy. I've come to see that. Mnaweza argue na mtu afadhali yani mweke truth kando, msimame tu kwa hiyo uovu. But don't face the truth. Tunasikia huyu mtu anauliza, so it's not shame you desire but truth. Yes, I desire truth. Ukweli ndio. Meaning shame fold inward and hides. Huyu mtu ambaye unaona anakataa ukweli, yeye anataka kuhide because you want to hide this shame. Na hata kubali, hata mkienda namna gani, afadhali huyo mtu aongezee mambo so that ukweli hautasimama. That's the way the word of God is. So truth ndio Mungu anataka. And if people would agree to face the truth, hii dunia ingekuwa, yani dhambi ingewekwa wazi. Lakini nobody wants truth to open up. Sisi wote waka tunataka kuficha ukweli because of shame. We want to protect shame. Bash. Sasa the man anauliza, and if I forget you, then the Spirit of God tell him, I remain. Hata ukinisahau, mimi bado nitafanya nini? Mimi nitabaki. Si ati wewe ufikiria ati wewe kwa sababu umenisahau mimi nitabaki, nitaenda na wewe, hapana. If you forget me, I remain. I walk with you. Anamwambia, I walk with you whether you see me or not. Kwa hivyo sasa wewe usifikirie kwa sababu ati sasa umekataa ukweli ama nini ati sasa the Spirit of God itatoroka. No. God we survive in God, we move in God, and we walk in God. So ni kumaanisha hakuna wakati Mungu hayuko. Watu wanafikiri kana kwamba ati kuna pali Mungu anakuanga ameenda sasa anakuja. No, wewe ni nani? Unatembelea nani? Eric, nani anafikiri? Hakuna. Yeah? Unatembelea Mungu. What you are is God. Sasa ndio nasikia akisema wewe usipojua ukweli, yani if I forget you, mimi nikisahau wewe. Anamwambia na nikisahau, nikusahau.
Yeah, tabaki tu.
Anamwambia I remain. Why? I walk with you whether you see me or not. But when your eyes return, lakini wakati macho yako itarudi, ni macho gani?
Ya ndani.
Ya ndani. But when your eyes return, you will find I am nearer than breath. So usifikiri ati sasa kwa sababu wewe umenisahau, mimi nifanya nini? ati mimi sasa mimi nimetoka. It's only that wewe hujui mimi ni nani. Utakuja kuona kabisa Mungu wako karibu sana, because all we are is God. It's only that we don't realize. So wewe wakati macho yako itafunguka ndio utakuja kuona mimi niko karibu sana na wewe. Wewe ndio ulikuwa umeenda, wewe ndio ulikuwa umesahau, lakini mimi niko. Then the man asked, then I'll walk slowly, Lord. I'll not run ahead in presumption. Sasa me realize, I'll not run ahead in presumption, nor run behind in fear. I will walk in each moment with justice in my hands, mercy in my heart, and you as my silent companion. Then the Spirit of God tell him, and in this walk you shall find all things transformed. Each act will shine with light. Each word will carry weight. And your soul, it shall become my dwelling place. So, all along, salvation is, God is building a dwelling place in us. Mungu anataka kuishi na sisi. We are his temple. Sisi ni nyumba ya nani? Ya Mungu. Lakini sisi ndio tunaichafua mpaka Mungu anafanya nini? Anakuwa kabisa we don't see him. Because we are the mirror ambaye imechafuka, ambaye ni kioo ambaye hakiwezi ona. Na ni sisi wenyewe. Lakini ndio nasema each word will carry weight at your soul. It shall become my dwelling place. Kwa hivyo, in short, true religion ni wakati Mungu sisi wenyewe tumejielewa to the point that God will come and dwell with us openly. And sisi wenyewe, when we say God dwelling in us, ni kumaanisha all our action itakuwa action ya nani? Ya Mungu. We shall no longer fight unnecessary. Hatutasukumwa na self itakuwa imefanya nini? Imeisha. So that is where we are. Hapo ndipo tunaenda. Hapo ndipo Mungu anataka tujue. That is the direction that we should understand. That our evil self has no place in our life. And wakati wote, it is sad wakati our evil self ina exact itself to the point that tunasahau Mungu. We should always fight that, because hiyo ndio kizungumukuti. That's the one which hinders the presence of God in us. Na hiyo haiko kwa mtu mmoja, ni sisi wote. It is a clarion call to each and everyone that we should always fight that evil self, which always, na sio siku moja, and you cannot fight it in a day. It is a lifetime struggle. It's a lifetime struggle, because it is not an easy fight. The only goodness ni kujua, thank God, because the grace which is in our Lord Jesus Christ is cleansing us, inatusafisha kila wakati, ndio hiyo shida ituishie. Kwa hivyo, though we know it or not, yet God through his son Jesus Christ is fighting for us. Kwa hivyo, one day, one time, tutasimama na kabisa God will be seen in us and through us. Sawa?